Come check in the holding area.
Final call, Class 1 breeding does. Final call, Class 1 breeding does. Brielle Upchurch. Brielle Upchurch. All right, this is the first call, Class 2 breeding does. First call, Class 2 breeding does.
Class 7 natural market lambs is headed in the ring. We need Class 8 to come up and check in the holding area. Class 8 natural market lambs to the holding area.
Second call, Class 2 breeding does. Second call, Class 2 breeding does. You guys can be making your way to the holding area. Class 1 is in the ring. Final call, Class 2 breeding does. Final call, Class 2 breeding does.
This is Class 14, McCrae Dar and Landon Charles. Class 14, one of 3 classes here in the light crossbred division. Let's bring Class 15. You should be in the holding area at this time. Also, Class 16, light crossbred breeding gilts. We need you in the holding area as well. Kylie Pfeiffer, Natalie Sprouse, and Jamie Hoblin. Let's get all of those light crossbred breeding gilts to the holding area at this time.
A very good pair of gilts out here, and I think that there's obviously some fine lines to draw in the sand, but I think quality dang sure isn't one of them. I think both of these are very neat looking gilts that have got some things they bring to the table, and it's just a preference deal. And I think one of them's just better legged and better looking from the side. Young man's blue belted one over here is higher headed and necked. I think her hind leg is hip is longer and hind leg works, and she uses it just a shot better. I think that's a nice one to go ahead and win this particular class. Now, this young man's gilt we got in second, I absolutely love the broadness of this thing, and you can't appreciate it from a distance. You got to get up on top of this thing to see how broad she is out of her shoulder, how big and stout she is in her hip. She's monster chested and just awesome in terms of just spread that she's got. We need to change this thing's neck setup just a nickel. Man, just need to bring that thing back inside. I think if you can skinny that thing up from a butt perspective, I think that thing's got a chance to do some neat things because she's broad, dense, and big legged. My congratulations to both them exhibitors.
Class 15, Josette McConnell. Your class is in the ring, Josette McConnell. Results of Class 14. First, McCrae Dar. Second, Landon Charles. In the ring at this time, we have Class 15, light crossbred breeding gilts. Kinley Hikas, Josette McConnell, J.D. Shoup, Josie Duncan, and Jolie Onaveros. Correction, in that Class 14, first place goes to Landon Charles. Second to McCrae Dar. Class 16 light crossbred breeding gilts, third and final class of light crosses, should be in the holding pen at this time. Kylie Pfeiffer, Natalie Sprouse, and Jamie Hoblin. Class 16 in the holding pen, please.
All kinds of shapes and sizes here in this light cross class, and different strokes for different folks, I guess you could say, because there's something for everybody that's out here. The one that suits me the best, and I'm still going to stick to it in terms of just movement, how everything's put together from the side, the looseness and comfort, especially in the lower joints, and then still one of them that still just has a better look in terms of extension and elevation. Young lady's blue belted one right here in front of me is going to win this particular class. I think from there on it's challenging, but still I think that there's another high level one out here. I love this one's head shape and her chest. She's broad when you get on top of her and big and stout in her pin set. Wants to get just a little outside when you get around behind her. If you want to pick on that, she could be fixed in her loin just a nickel as well. But I think that's another really good one right there that the young lady's got to be second. My congratulations to her. And like I said, we got 3 different kinds and just different differences of opinion on what you want to do. The young lady's red belted one right here will be next. That's another one I think's got some broadness and some heaviness of structure. Perfectly square, she comes and goes. I didn't read that one to maybe take as long a stride out of her shoulder and front end maybe as these other ones. I could just give her just a shot more body shape in the lower third of her body. I think it'd be awfully neat to see what she would look like with that. And then the further we go, the more different they get. Young lady's gilt here is elevated, got a neat look. Just gets a little too plain about her head. She gets too tight how she gets off either end of her skeleton. But I think a good bodied one that's proportionality from the side and her elevation, I thought was awfully good. Young lady's blue belted one, like I said, if you like them stout and tough looking, especially up there in her head, you have to like this one. She's broad and dense. She got just a shot shorter there in her hip and just got a little outside from behind. But I think that there's some really neat things about that one. Like I said, if you like them stout and stout-headed, you ought to be a fan of that blue belted one there. So nice set of these kiddos. Put your hands together for all those exhibitors in that class.
Thank you, Will. Results of Class 15. First place, Jolie Ontiveros. Second, Kinley Hikus. Third, Josette McConnell. Fourth, Josie Duncan. And fifth, J.D. Shoup. The final class of light cross breeding gilts in the ring at this time. I'd like to make first call for Class 17, dark crossbred breeding gilts. Class 17, Jolie Ontiveros. Wyatt Copenhaver, Dusty Westmoreland, Kate Jackson, Callie Johnson, Dally Dahl, and Katie Hikus. Class 17 dark crossbred gilts be making your way to the holding area at this time.
You're good.
Nice set of big girls here in this lightweight or light cross division. I think that there's some neat things, and I do actually mean that. I know sometimes it gets said that they're all quality, but actually in this instance, all three of them are. I think they're all very unique in terms of just the spread that they've got when you get on top of them. Extremely impressive from that regard. If you study all three of them out of their shoulder, the stoutness that they've got as they go away is all very good. It's just a matter of what you want to do as far as just the flesh and how they're put together. One of these is just better in terms of the posture to her hind leg, the heaviness of structure, big chested, maybe not the sharpest looking one in terms of her neck and just the flesh that she's got, but I still think a really unique animal. Young lady's gilt there on the far side is going to win this particular class. I think this next pair, like I said, are different in their own right. One of them to me is just a little more genuine in terms of heaviness of structure, bigness of feet and joints, and then just stouter up headed, maybe not quite as extended or as elevated, but I think the young lady's white gilt there on the far side is awfully neat. And it got just a little bit of a kick in her hind leg when you walk around behind her, and I'd like to just secure that up just a nickel, but I think that's a nice gilt to be in second. This young lady's blue one, I'm telling you, is impressive when you get on top of her. That's a wide back, got a great big hip in her hind leg. Maybe don't quite match underneath in terms of feature and foot size for all the mass that she's got up top, and kind of throws it off for me just a little bit. She too could be just a shot sharper looking there about her neck and just her front end presentation, but I thought the young lady did an awesome job getting this thing shown, presented to the tee. I think that's one of the better third place pigs that we've had. My congratulations to all three of them young ladies.
Results in that Class 3 or Class 16 light crossbred breeding gilts. First place, Jamie Oblin. Second, Kylie Pfeiffer. And third, Natalie Sprouse. We're now ready to select the champion and reserve champion light crossbred breeding gilt. From Class 1, we have Landon Charles. From Class 2, we have Jolie Ontiveros. And from Class 3, we have Jamie Hoblin. Those are your three class winners in the light crossbred division. Class 17, dark cross gilts. You should be moving to the holding area at this time. Jolie Ontiveros, Wyatt Copenhaver with 2, Dusty Westmoreland, Kate Jackson, Kaylee Johnson, Daly Dahl, and Kate Hikus. Those Class 17 dark crossbred gilts in the holding area at this time. Now bringing our second place class winners from Class 14, we have McRae Dar. Class 15, Kinley Hikus. And 16, Kylie Pfeiffer.
as we get work through all of them light crosses and get them all out here together. I'm still happy with the set that we end up with here at the top end to represent each of them classes. Obviously, they're different shapes and sizes and kind of just built and prepared and maturity-wise, we're all over the board here, and I understand that, but I still think the quality represents this division extremely good. And I'm sure everybody ringside's got them a favorite. I don't know if that there's one that just clear-cut just is a out of this world one, but I still think that there's dang nice ones out here. I guess whenever you get down to it, and still the one that's still the fundamentally the best, you study the set to her shoulder, the length to her hip, and how she gets out and moves, and then get on top of them and see how massive this thing is. And then when you can get all the rest of them and put inside her because she's that big chested and that stout and square and big as she goes away, this ain't a big pig contest, but the biggest pig is the best one. Congratulations to her. From there, I think that you've got, like I said, you've got all kinds of different options. You got a neat-looking one that I think needs to have more spread. The second in that class was a stout one that I thought clicked her hind legs just a little bit. Then the young man's blue belted one here was a neat-looking one. Gets out here and looks maybe just a shot flatter bodied. But I still think at the end of the day, the one that's still the second best one from a quality perspective, I like this one. Stoutness ahead. I still like the squareness, the extra bend that she's got, and she's really, really stout underneath. Young man's blue belted one to be reserved.
Congratulations, champion light cross breeding gilt, Jamie Hoblin, reserve champion Landon Charles. Remember, we'll be bringing those champion and reserve champion gilts in each division back to pick the champion Cheyenne Livestock Expo top 5. We have 4 classes of dark cross breeding gilts. This is class 17. Class 17 is in the ring. Class 18, please come to the holding area at this time. Paisley Mills, Hadley DeVitt, Landon Charles, Hatton Dean, Cash Shelton, Loretta Dahl, Tyler Eddington, Paisley Mills, Brooklyn Jaratowski, Hayes Heiner, and Wyatt Copenhaver, Class 18. The holding area is yours.
good group of these gilts here in the first class of these darks, and these three suit me really well. I like the build that they've got to them from the side and still their presence. I think one of them just comes with more oomph in terms of chest and back shape, and you get around behind her, she's got a great big hind leg that works and keeps inside herself like it's supposed to, in my opinion. Young lady right there is winning this class, and I think does so pretty handily. I think the other two, I think, are very similar in terms of their spread and the dimension they've got on top. I think one of them is probably just a little better looking in terms of head shape and broadness there between her eyes. I think she moves extremely good. Just wasn't maybe as heavy structure, as dense in terms of how she's built in the mid part of her body, but fundamentally she's good chested, she's good up high, she's square going away. I just like to stouten her up in terms of her feature and her bone work. It's an awfully good gilt to be in second. Young man on the far side will be 3, and I think that's a good one in terms of just the levelness down to her top line. Skin and hair on that thing is presented extremely well. I love her squareness as you get around and behind her, watch her go away. She too could be stoutened up just a little bit in terms of her foot and her ankle. I'd like to change up her head shape and just the way her neck ties into her shoulder. But from her blade back, man, that thing is built awfully good. I like that gilt quite a bit to be there in 3. Young lady's gilt in 4's got a gilt that's green and still looks like she's on her way up. She's elevated and extended and moves good. Just gets a little greener in terms of her body flesh and just her chest at this stage. Once she just matures and gets there, I think that's going to be a nice gilt in her own right. Same thing goes for the young ladies with the belted one there. Square belt when you get on top of her. Just gets a little flatter in terms of her forerib shape and just doesn't have the extra horsepower when you get around behind her, but a nice gilt. Black gilt here is extra stout. I love the proportionality of this one. She's got a stout head and a big arm. Just need to get that thing reined back in just a nickel. Gets a little too wide walking. I think it makes her a little choppier in how she moves, but from there up, I think that's an awfully good gilt. Young lady does a nice job getting that thing shown. Then the young man's belted one over here is elevated, neat-headed, just a shot flatter there in her forerib. She could have just a shot more oomph as she goes away. I think it wouldn't hurt my feelings none. He did a nice job getting that thing shown. My congratulations to all them exhibitors.
Class 18, Tyler Eddington. If you're not in the holding pen, I need you there now. Your class is in the ring. Results of Class 17, first place, Kate Hikas. Second, Kate Jackson. Third, Wyatt Copenhaver. Fourth, Callie Johnson. Fifth, Wyatt Copenhaver. Sixth, Dally Dahl. And seventh, Dusty Westmoreland. This is Class 18, dark crossbred breeding gilts. I'd like to call Class 19, crossbred breeding gilts to the ring at this, or to the holding pens. Casey Tuxhorn, Dally Dahl, Jolie Oliveros, Kylie Pfeiffer, Zach Vaughn, Casey Tuxhorn, Landon Wager. Class 19, the holding area is yours.
a good group we got here on top, and I think a pair that are good, especially when you get on top of them. They're really broad out of their shoulder. They're good in the turn and the shape to their foreribs. They're different in terms of their balance from the side. I think both of them, I'd like to tweak them from behind. One of them needs to be wider, one of them needs to be less wide, so you can kind of take a wash on that because I don't know which one's better or worse from that regard. I think one of them does suit me just a shot better in terms of just the elevation she's got, the length to her hip, and still the cushion that she has to her hind leg from the profile. Like I said, we need to tweak this thing as she goes right away, but at the end of the day, I'm still more concerned with the function and how they move and how they bend and reach and pull more than just the squareness they've got. But I think that's a nice gilt to go ahead and lead this thing off. Young man's gilt in second is broad. I think that's a big back one that's got an awesome shape to her body. She's extra big when you get on top of her. She read just a shot shorter and rounder there in her hip and just got round there from behind, just a nickel. I think if you can starve that out of her and get everything back in check from behind, everything from there forwards like it's supposed to be. Everything bends up front. She's broad and stout when she comes at you. Just that back part, well, I think once we get everything back in check, I think that's a high quality gilt that the young man does a nice job getting shown. Young ladies, the red belt one we got in third, I think just gets here off fundamentals. I think she's square. I think that thing's got muscle. I think when you study that thing from the side, she's elevated and level down her top line. She's just not a wowie looking one in terms of her presence up front or a bone or feature, but I still think fundamentally that one ain't messed up. That's why she ends up third. Did a good job showing. Young man's gilt right here, I think, is another one that still bends and uses her skeleton good. Wants to run downhill just a nickel. Gets just a shot plainer there out of her shoulder there in her mid-body and back versus some of these other ones. But everything moves good underneath. Young man does a nice job. I think that's a nice gilt to be in fourth. Young lady's gilt in five has got the right kind of presence from the side in terms of her elevation and her proportionality. I like to change up that thing's head shape just a nickel. She comes right at me is where she gets into fifth. We got to square and open that thing up in her knee. Then the young lady's black gilt is another one that moves good and has got some shape. She's another one that we got to have more horsepower up front, and we got to square everything up just a little bit from behind. But that thing's bendy and got muscle. I think that's a nice gilt to round out the top end of this class. My congratulations to all them exhibitors. Put your hands together for them, folks.
Awesome class of dark crossbred breeding gilts. First place goes to Wyatt Copenhaver. Second, Hayes Heiner. Third, Loretta Dahl. Fourth, Hatton Dean. Fifth, Brooklyn Jaratowski. And sixth, Hadley DeVitt. In the ring at this time, we have Class 19, dark crossbred breeding gilts. 7 entries. Class 20, please be making your way to the holding area. Landon Wager, Trampus Carr, Natalie Sprouse, Lacey Anderson, Emma Ott, Kate Hikas, Kinsley Curlis, and Riley West. Let's bring the Class 20, last and final class of dark crossbred breeding gilts to the holding area at this time. Kitty Hikus, please bring your dark crossbred gilt to the holding area at this time.
A challenging class to put together, and I think that if I could take parts and pieces of a whole bunch of these, I could make what I want, because some of the ones that can go better don't have enough, and some of them down the line that have got enough can't go good enough, so it's just part of it. And I think the pair that I got out here, I think, are the two that got the closest on having some oomph and some body and some stoutness to them when you get on top of them, and then still having the ability to get out and go better than what some of the rest of them can. Still, at the end of the day, one of these is still just better looking and still can reach and flex and go just a nickel better. She needs to have more feature underneath, but I thought femininity-wise, shape, and still looking like a lady, I thought this was the best one in this particular class to go ahead and win. Now, the young man in his Gilt, we got here in second, obviously the heaviest structured one that's big and stout when you get on top of her. We didn't have these things out here that long, and man, she's already tightening up. She needs to be fresher back there in her loin, but I think we just need to pull and stretch everything from her hip back. She just got to get out and go better than what she does. I'm not saying that one can't make the next generation better with one good breeding decision, but I think that there's a lot of good in that Gilt that's in 2. Young lady's Gilt in 3 is a good chested one that everything fits together from the side. We got to have more. I mean, just more spread and more dimension, more stoutness from behind. Young lady does a nice job getting these things shown. We got to have more oomph there out of her hip and her hind leg, and just stoutness as she goes away. I think that thing's got lots of upside, lots of future to her as well. Young lady's Gilt next is another one that she needs to move just a shot better from behind, but she does it also at the expense of needing to be sharper looking out of her front end. She could use just a shot more punch down low as she goes right away, but a heavy structured one that's still got a big back in her. A lot of good in that Gilt that's in 4. Young man here's got one that takes a long stride off both ends of her skeleton. Just kind of got out of bounds in terms of balance. Wants to get just a shot weaker there in her top line. Wants to get maybe just a shot too soft down there in her front feet. But I think fundamentally she's a long-bodied Gilt that's still pliable and loose in her skeleton. Then the 2 young men next. I think I got a pair of Gilts that are both muscular when you get on top of them. We need to change up their hip lengths and just how they handle their hind leg. They could use just a shot of spread when you get right up on top of them. But I think a nice pair of Gilts to round out this class. Put your hands together for all them kiddos. I thought a nice class of them dark cross Gilts.
Congratulations, they're in class 19. First place going to Jolie Ontiveros. Second, Zach Vaughn. Third, Dally Dahl. Fourth, Kylie Pfeiffer. Fifth goes to Landon Wager. And 6th and 7th to Casey Tuxhorn. We're now in class 20. Last class of breeding gilts here at the 2025 Cheyenne Livestock Expo. Immediately following this class, we will select the champion and reserve champion dark cross breeding gilt. After that, we'll be ready for all of the division and breed champions to come back to the ring. We'll bring in the champion in each of the divisions for the selection of the top 5 overall at the Cheyenne Livestock Expo. At this time, I'd like the Berkshire winners, Kate Hikus and Trampus Carr, to be getting ready. Chester White, Emma Ott, Durock, Walker McCormick and Brooklyn Jaratowski. Hampshire, Cash Shelton, Waylon McCormick. Let's be getting those ready as well. Landrace, McCarty Dar, get the spots, Natalie Sprouse and Walker McCormick. The Yorkshires, Emma Ott and Jolie Ontiveros. And from the light cross division, we'll be looking for Landon Charles and Jamie Hoblin to return to the ring for the selection of the top 5 overall.
Nice set of big girls to finish this thing out. And I think, obviously you're getting to a size and a weight that some people, myself included, don't have sows that are this big. So you get into some of these things that are still presented like this and still have the ability to keep it all together. It's certainly impressive from where I'm standing. Young Lady's Calico, I think, fits the bill for me. I think she's still, and I say this tongue-in-cheek, she's still youthful enough next to the rest of them in terms of her head and her neck, and still the freshness she's got there in between her shoulders, and then all the way back, I think everything still fits together, and I think that still looks like the right kind of appropriate length of body. Everything matches. I think a nice kind of place to start. Young man's Gilt gets up in second. I think does so just off of fundamentals. Hip length and hind leg usage is good. She's still good and natural in her forerib shape. Started getting just a little winded, just a little gassed up there out of her shoulder. I think outside of that, I think that's a nice Gilt to go ahead and be in second. Young Lady's Gilt in third is another one of them outliers. It's big chested and really broad when you get on top of her. Fundamentally, we got to make her better from behind. You get that thing in check from that regard. I think that thing's got a chance to do some big things in the next generation. Same thing goes for the Young Lady's Gilt next. I like this one's look up ahead of her shoulder, the way her neck attaches to her shoulder. We've got a wide head and a neat neck, and in terms of where it ties in, gets just a little weak there in her top line, and just maybe all of the hind leg usage is up underneath her. I wish she would pull her hock past her tail better than what she does, but I thought that was a well-presented, well-driven one. The joints and everything are fine. We just need to make that thing take a longer stride from behind. Young man's gilt next is another one that's awfully unique. I mean, that's a tall-shouldered, short-backed one that's got a big legs. To me, maturity-wise, her head's just too far gone. Just looks a little too old and just too mature from that regard. From all that perspective, you add that with a shot of just flatness there in the lower part of her body. We got to change those two things. But, man, that's a weird-looking one. From a distance, you got to like a lot of things about that one. Young lady's gilt here's elevated and good-looking. Just gets out horsed in terms of width and stoutness and punch. Got a good look to her from the side. I like that one's hip length. Young man's gilt here's another one that's got some chest and some muscle. Wants to get just a little softer and just a little pushy there in how she handles her front end. I like to change up the way her neck and everything's put together. That young man's done an awfully good job showing these things today. My congratulations to him. And then the young lady's got one here that can swing as big of a stick as any. Stout-headed, big legs, and got a great big back. Just fundamentally, we got to make that thing just a shot better from behind. I thought she did a nice job getting that thing drove too. Last class of the day, folks. Put your hands together for all those kiddos. I thought they did a nice job. There's not another class bigger than that, is there?
What's that? Nope. We're going to pick champion dark cross and then the overall. All right, moving in to the selection of the champion and reserve champion dark cross breeding gilt. From class 17, we need class winner Kate Hikus. Class 18, class winner will be Wyatt Copenhaver. Class 19, class winner coming out will be Jolie Ontiveros. And class 20, Emma Ott. As we bring those into the ring, the results of class 20, first place, Emma Ott. Second, Trampus Carr. Third, Lacey Anderson. Fourth, Kate Hikus. Fifth, Riley West. Sixth, Natalie Sprouse. Seventh, Landon Wager. And eighth, Kinsley Curlis. Now have in the ring the first place class winners from each of the four dark cross classes. Immediately following the selection of the dark cross champion in reserve, we're going to jump into that overall top five. Need the following individuals to the holding ring at this time. Berkshires, Kate Hikus and Trampus Carr. Chester, Emma Ott. Durox, Walter McCormick, Brooklyn Jaratowski. Please bring those to the holding pens at this time. Also need the Hampshires, Waylon McCormick, Cash Shelton, Landrace McCarty Dar. Need the two spots from Walker McCormick and Natalie Sprouse. We'll need those Yorkshire breeding gilts to the holding area. Emma Ott and Jolie Ontiveros. And from our light cross division, Landon Charles and Jamie Hoblin, please bring those gilts to the holding area at this time.
As we get out here for our champion dark cross, I think a nice setup that obviously come out of some different depths in terms of classes, and obviously we don't look maybe as similar as what I'd like for them to be as far as a group, but still collectively I think that there's a nice set of gilts these kiddos should be proud of, and each and every one of them kind of as we went along through them classes kind of picked on them just a little here and a little there. I'm still proud of the set that we've got. The one that I had to make the least excuses for, and obviously I'm not gonna waver from fundamentals on making sure they're built right. But when they're built right, and then everything else is maxed out, and then they're big, you don't have to project, you don't have to guess. You can see all what's there. Young lady's big one's my champion. thought that second place was another nice one in that class, and I still think is a quality animal that dang sure fits in the mix out here. Maybe not quite as sharp looking in terms of her crest and the way her head shape is at this stage, but man, I still think that's going to be an awfully good sow that's going to do some neat things. My next favorite one is another one I think's awfully neat, fundamentally very, very good. Got a great big hind leg. Maybe like to change up the shape to her head too, but I think with time and everything else, I think is going to be a fun factor to see what she does. Young lady right here is going to be a reserve.
Congratulations, here in the dark crossbred breeding gilt division, champion Emma Ott and reserve champion Kate Heikus. We're now ready for the selection of the champion, reserve champion, and top 5 breeding gilts here at the Cheyenne Livestock Expo. Out of the Berkshire division, bringing in our champion, Katie Hikes. That's a gilt from Katie Hikes. Out of the Chester White division, Emma Ott. Champion Duroc coming out by Walker McCormick. Champion Hampshire, Cash Shelton. Our landrace champion, McCarty Dar. Natalie Sprouse will be coming out with our champion spot breeding gilt. Champion Yorkshire gilt, Emma Ott. Champion Light Cross, Jamie Hoblin. And again, our champion Dark Cross coming out. Congratulations, Emma Ott. These are the champions in each of the divisions here at the 2025 Cheyenne Livestock Expo. We'll pick our grand, bring in the reserve to that hog for consideration, and work through our top 5.
Well, I won't take up much of your time. This gilt show was sprung on to me by the show officials here later, so I wouldn't have used all of my grand drive speech the first time. But still, I think that I'd like to thank you guys one more time for having me. The help that we've had out here in the back and everything getting up here has been okay. They did better than the Bear show probably, but still, I think it's been an efficient show for all you guys in the back getting them up here. I appreciate it. It's been a fun set, and like I said, you get this much variation in size and endpoints in this gilt show, man. It'll dang sure wear on you on how this thing all needs to line out, how it needs to go. But I am very impressed and still very proud of the gilt we've got out here with the numbers that we've got. I think they do an awesome job of representing what I want in these gilts and in market hogs like it was in the other shows. So like I told them kiddos, them folks in the market show, if you weren't here, you kiddos enjoy the trip home. You guys just enjoy this. Enjoy the time with your parents. Parents, you enjoy the time with your kiddos. It's just today. Tomorrow can dang sure be different. I wish all you guys the best. Thank you guys for having me. I won't come back to this thing again. I am very proud of all you kids. Thank all of you guys for being professional when you go out that gate. You got any questions, holler at me. But thank all you guys here in Wyoming, in the northern part of the world. I've certainly enjoyed it. Thank you guys. Y'all be safe going home.
with Jamie Hoblin, champion light cross. Jamie Hoblin earns the overall grand champion gilt. Reserve goes to Emma Ott with that dark crossbred gilt champion. Emma Ott is our reserve champion. Third overall today was our landrace winner, Chester White winner, and that was Emma Ott. Emma Ott repeating as a winner there. Third overall, Chester White. Hikus, dark cross, Kate Hikus, fourth overall today. And Camden Cash Shelton with the champion Hampshire, fifth overall. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being here. Please take those top 5 gilts from the Cheyenne Livestock Expo over to the back.